Hi, Dr. B here. I'm going to show you how to grade the video presentations using my Intro to Psych example. So regardless of whether you're TA for this class or a different one, how you do this will be identical. Um, if you're here just to see how to do the grade book part of it, I'm going to start with that, and then I'll give a little bit more full introduction about how I'm hoping that you'll do the grading for this. If you're just here for how do you enter the grades here, I'm scrolling down. I'm in the I'm in the course page, and I scroll down to the grade center here and enter that. And I'll scroll over and look for the assignment. Oh, well, there it is right there. I'm in the column by default here. So for this course, it's called My Hip Video. It varies from course to course, but it's called something like video presentation or something. You'll find it. Okay, so if a student has submitted an item for grading, then you'll see this exclamation point in there. If it's just dashes, that means it's blank. They didn't submit anything. So to view an individual's submission here, you click on the little pull down arrow and click on their attempt. Now, this is a good time as any to notice the due date. So pay attention to the due date, and my policy is generally, if I haven't left a note for you or for them, given some kind of approval for a late submission, I take off 10% per day, per full day. So if they're a full day late, if they're pretty close to a full day, round it up to a full day, or I take off 10% per day. So if they're about a half day late, take off 5%, etc. And then I'll take off deductions for up to 1 week. So after about 7 days, if you're down to subtracting 70% already, it's really not worth doing anyway. So they should know that they have 1 week at the most. And so anyway, click on their submission, on their attempt. And it varies from how they were supposed to, for this assignment, upload a link, only a streaming link. I don't want you downloading a file. If you see over here that they've downloaded, or they've uploaded a video, don't even open it. I've told them perfectly clearly that we're not going to download videos. I don't want you wasting your time. I don't want you contaminating your computer with a virus or anything like that. Don't open any files for this assignment, even if it's a PowerPoint file. It was assigned to be a streaming link. So they should have copied and pasted a link, hopefully, preferably to YouTube. And they either submit it as, there's two ways to submit that link. And sometimes it winds up over here. And hopefully that's where they put it, because then it's a clickable link and you just have to click on it. I'll show you another example. I think the next student, if I'm not mistaken, they put it over in the comments box. And that's fine, but it just doesn't wind up being a clickable link, so you'll just have to highlight it and
My name is Jack Balserson, and this is my heroic
like
imagination
okay?
project.
I don't want to do it that way. I don't know.
Dictionary.com defines a hero as...
Didn't know that could even be done. All right. So anyway, I was going to copy, if I highlight on my computer, I don't know if this works for Windows computers or not, but I can right-click on that and go to that address in a new tab or a new window altogether. And
my name is Jack Balserson, and this is my
video there. Okay, so there's their video. Go back to the grade thing. So again, if you're just here to see how to grade, you've watched the video, you've done their rubric, and it's time to put the grade in. So anyway, this is out of 15 points. So whatever you put on the rubric, give them that score here. So type in, if they scored 12, you type in 12 or whatever. I'd like you to put, some feedback. Put in a comment. I usually like to do what's sometimes called like a I don't know, very name. Sometimes called an insult sandwich or a compliment sandwich. Okay, so where you give feedback in this format. You say something positive, you give the critical feedback, which might sound negative, and then you end with something positive again. So hey, overall great video, but it would have been nice if you had done this, that, or the other. Keep up the good work. this was overall a good attempt or something like that. See how I did something nice, gave some feedback, said something nice. Okay, that generally makes people a little bit happier. So I hope you'll write some brief commentary in here. And then I want you to upload the rubric. So you've completed the rubric, saved it with in a file perhaps with their name, and you can attach a file by clicking on the little paperclip symbol here, and this window will pop up, and you browse through your where it's stored on your computer, select the file and upload it. Okay, and then you'll see a link appearing inside of your comments box. And then you're done, and you can hit submit, and Blackboard then will take you to the next student that has an attempt posted. Okay, so click in the attempt box, type the score, upload the rubric, type some comments, upload the rubric, hit submit. Go on to the next student. Okay, so that's the short version of this, how to do just that part in the grade book. All right, so let me tell you a little bit more now. Okay, so if to fill out the rubric here, I'm going to pop over to the Box website. So log into Box however you do it, and I don't know if yours looks the same as mine. So I'm going to log in. This is a UC thing, so I log in with my UC user stuff, and Box will open up. And I don't know how it'll look on your version here, but you're all in you have permission to some appropriate place in the TA folder. So depending on which class you're in, okay? So again, I'm showing you the example for intro psych. So your folder just appears whatever folder you have permission for. So inside of your folder, you should see something called a rubric for the version of whatever class you're in for this video assignment. Okay, so for this class, I'll open up the rubric, and I would type in the student's name, so Sue student, and just fill in the rubric. So following these sort of general statements. If you think that they scored a 2 for something, you can give fractions. You could give 2.5 if you think something between 2 and 3, for example, is warranted. So enter that in for each of these. To help cut down the amount that you maybe have to type in as a comment, sometimes I'll do things like I'll highlight what I think is the reason why I'm given, say, a 2 here. Maybe it was somewhat shorter, so I'll highlight shorter and highlight it. Okay, so maybe if it was less than 5 minutes, I'm knocking off a little bit because it was only 4.5 minutes long or something. I'll say shorter than requested. So if they let's say that I gave them all the specific instructions not to just open up their laptops and talk to the camera or talk to the camera on their phone. So it consists only of a person talking to camera without any other visual. If that's the reason why I gave them less, I'll highlight that and then, give them that's the reason why I scored a 1 there. Okay, so do that for each row and add up the total. And if you want, you can put comments here or type them. I kind of actually, to be honest, it's fine either place. I don't care where you do it. I don't want to micromanage. So if you want to type comments, you can put them here or back on the, in the comment box here. Okay. To be honest with you, I guess I would actually prefer you put them here because I don't want to open up these rubrics unless I kind of need to. And I want to come back. I want to come through after you guys have graded these things, and that's when I want to watch them. And it will be more helpful for me to see your comments here than on the rubric. So I do prefer that you put them here. And then after you've attached, then then you would save this, and then you would do the other parts that I told you. You'd upload that into the box here, the rubric. Upload your filled in rubric. Now, when it's here, when I pop this open, I'll see your score, I'll see your comments, I'll be able to see a link to your rubric, but Blackboard's crazy because it doesn't let me view that rubric that you've uploaded. It doesn't even let me download it. The student can, of course, download it, but once you or I put it here, other users, other graders can't. So I need you to then also store your rubrics back on the box page. So if I go back to box here, you have a folder called Video Rubrics. I think I use that same name for all courses. Okay, so in that folder, I would like you to upload your individual rubrics for each student. So you can see here someone has already gotten started here, and they've been putting the student's name, and I like what they're doing here. They're putting the last name first and then the first name, and then uploading it here. So if I need to see a rubric, this is how I can, if a student protests or asks me like, why did he take off this or that, I can pop open the rubric and see how you've done it. Okay, so make sure you get them uploaded here as you go, or after you, at least by the time you're all done. All right, now, so I guess that's what I would do. I would then, for each individual student, I'd have my rubric up, my blank rubric, fresh rubric up here, up and ready with their name typed in. I'd have followed their link, and, so then I'd watch their video, and I could fill in the rubric as I go. Make this the most time efficient for you. All right. So a couple of comments while I'm here. Just keep in mind this is not a speech communication class, so I'm not going to be too nutsy kooky about grading how poorly or well they did the oral component. Okay. If we can hear them, we'll be forgiving of the ahs and ums like I'm doing, and we won't grade their it's okay to make comments upon it. I think that's very helpful commentary to give back. So it might not necessarily be something we graded on, but if you think hey, you didn't seem very well prepared for what you were going to say, and that translated in your video. So it would have been nicer if you had sort of a script written or rehearsed better or thought more clearly what you were going to say, because as you presented, you seemed like you weren't very organized. Okay, you can make comments, things like that. Okay, now again, we're probably not going to take off much or any points for that. Also, it's not a video production course. I gave no instruction how to create a video and edit a video. So some of these are going to be delightfully great, and some are going to be pretty clunky. Okay, and we're not going to take points off for the quality of the video. So if you can hear what you're supposed to hear, see what you're supposed to see, and not only see their face talking to you with no other visual. Keep in mind that's on here, visual communication. I mean, did you only talk to the camera and you had nothing else? They should have something else. There needs to be some reason why it's a video and not just an auditory file to listen to. So keep that in your mind. Could you have, if you could have gotten the exact same thing out of this with your eyes closed, you didn't need to see anything. Even if they did have visuals, then you could make comments about that. It was like, well, you had visuals in your video, but they were really unrelated to the video. A viewer didn't have to watch your video to get the message. Okay, so I'm looking for how well they followed the scope of the assignment here. Okay, so I would do it that way, that to make it most time efficient for you. You finish, you can close the video up, save their rubric, upload it, put their score, and go on to the next. Okay, so hope that's enough to help you out here and get your stuff rolling here. Okay, so okay, one last thing. I mean, I have only asked that you do the students in your chunk of the alphabet. There's various places where you can look that up if you, at this point, don't know what your chunk of the alphabet for the class is. It's in the box folder. It's on the course page. So each one of your box folders has, a list of the TAs and content there. So you could pop that open and, as a refresher, to see which chunk of the alphabet that, which part of the last name, which last names you have. All right, so thank you for doing this and helping out with this. I greatly appreciate it.